Okay, so today we're going to dive into the incredible science behind mRNA vaccines. We're not just talking about how they protect you right now, but how they actually teach your immune system to remember a threat for the long haul. It's this amazing story of memory, training, and some seriously smart biology. Let's get into it. So remember when the first COVID-19 mRNA vaccines came out? The results from the clinical trials were just stunning, over 90% protection. I mean, that's a massive win for short-term defense.
But that brings up the real question, right? The big challenge. And what we're really going to focus on here is durability. How do you make that protection last? How do these vaccines create an immune memory that's not just powerful, but also sticks around for years?
To really get this, let's use an analogy. Imagine your immune system has its own super elite training academy. Let's call it a vaccine university, where your body's defenders go to school to become total specialists against a specific virus. And this university, well, it's not just a cute metaphor. Nope, it's a real microscopic structure that lives inside your lymph nodes, and it's called a germinal center. When you get a vaccine, this is ground zero. This is where all the critical training happens that lays the foundation for that long-term immunity we're talking about. So what does the curriculum look like at this university? Well, first, your B cells. Think of them as our student defenders. They encounter the viral antigen from the vaccine. That's kind of like their admission ticket. Next, they get into the germinal center for what is basically an intense training montage. They multiply, they mutate, they're constantly tweaking and refining their ability to hunt down the enemy. And finally, only the absolute best of the best get to graduate as these elite, highly specialized cells. And after graduation, you get two main types of specialists. On one side, you've got the long-lived plasma cells. These guys are the specialists who move into your bone marrow and become 24/7 antibody factories, constantly pumping out a first line of defense. And on the other side, you have the memory B cells. These are the veterans. They circulate in your body for years, just waiting, ready to launch a super fast response if the real virus ever shows up.
And here's the kicker from the research. It turns out mRNA vaccines are exceptionally good teachers. Studies are showing they fire up these germinal centers in a way that's way more robust and durable than some of the older, more traditional vaccines. Basically, they keep the university running longer, which means you get even better trained graduates.
So that leads to the next question. Why? Why are mRNA vaccines such amazing teachers? What is their secret ingredient? Let's dig in. I mean, is it just the mRNA itself doing all the work, or is there another factor at play here?
Well, the answer comes down to this concept called an adjuvant. The easiest way to think of it is like a wake-up call for your immune system. It's an ingredient that basically screams, hey, pay attention to this. This lesson is important. It just enhances the entire response.
And here is the secret sauce. mRNA vaccines have a built-in advantage. It turns out those little lipid nanoparticles, the fatty bubbles that deliver the mRNA into your cells, they also act as a really powerful adjuvant. The delivery system is the wake-up call. It's genius.
Okay, but this is where it gets really fascinating. Adjuvants don't just make the immune system shout louder, they make it teach smarter. See, without an adjuvant, the immune system might create a whole bunch of different antibodies for all sorts of parts of the virus. It's a bit scattered, but with an adjuvant, the response becomes focused. It narrows in on a smaller number of really key viral targets, creating a much more potent and efficient defense. It's like a great teacher highlighting the most important chapter in the textbook.
But this incredibly powerful learning system, it has a surprising twist. What happens when your immune system's memory of that very first lesson is, well, too strong? Can that powerful first impression sometimes become a double-edged sword? This brings us to a really interesting phenomenon called immunological imprinting. It's also known by the much cooler name original antigenic sin. And it's basically what happens when your immune system's memory of the first version of a virus it ever saw is so dominant, so strong, that it shapes and sometimes even limits its response to all future related variants. That first lesson can stick a little too well. So, let's see how this plays out. In the perfect scenario, if you get exposed to the exact same virus you were vaccinated against, bam, your memory B cells are recalled and they mount a perfect, lightning-fast defense. This is your immune memory working exactly the way it's supposed to. But what happens when you face a new variant? Because of imprinting, your body's go-to move is to reactivate the memory cells from that very first encounter. And since those cells are experts at fighting the original virus, they tend to focus only on the parts that the old and new viruses share, while potentially ignoring the variant's new, unique mutations.
You can think of it as a competition. Those veteran memory cells, they have a huge competitive advantage. They're faster and way easier for your body to activate than the rookie B cells that could learn to target the variant's new features. And because of that, the veterans can end up dominating the response, basically boxing out and restricting the training of a new generation of defenders.
Now, this isn't a dead end, not at all. It's really a fascinating puzzle for scientists to solve. Understanding this whole imprinting thing is actually the key to designing the next generation of even smarter vaccines that can outwit viral evolution. And that is exactly what's happening right now. Researchers are exploring all kinds of cool strategies, like updated, variant-specific boosters that are designed to redirect the immune system's focus. They're also working on vaccines that target parts of the virus that almost never change. And another really exciting area is mucosal vaccines, things like nasal sprays, that could build a defensive wall right in our airways, where viruses first try to get in.
So it really all comes back to this one idea. Our immune system is an unbelievably powerful and adaptive learner. The whole future of vaccine science is really about us becoming even better teachers, learning how to guide that learning process to create the broadest, most durable, and most flexible protection we possibly can. Pretty amazing stuff. Thanks for diving in with me.